everything is not going to be fine. Your state's burning down. You're getting overtaxed.
A move that will impact millions of Californians. The state will increase the amount of money it takes out of workers' paychecks.
Crime is out of control. This is insanity.
Are you running for governor of California one day?
Oh, this is the hard hit. He told me before this. He's like, I got a big one coming out the box, man.
What about Trump behind the scenes? What's he like?
To me, Donald Trump is a guy that he gives me permission to be myself. You don't have to prostitute yourself.
You've made people rich. You've made them happy. You've taken care of people that would not have had the courage to go out and do real estate or other things.
Almost $5 billion today. But I did all that. I'm proud of what I did. Just launched real estate Bitcoin fund. I own 350 Bitcoin.
You have my complete and total endorsement.
You guys ready to 10X America?
Let's go!
And it's wild what's going on in California.
This house is completely gone.
Absolute devastation.
Madam Mayor, have you absolutely nothing to say?
5 dead, likely more.
And one of the things that's crazy to me too is that even in the photo of your home, I saw there's like a fire station literally right behind the house, right? How did they burn down?
They didn't have any water pressure.
That's insane.
Why was there no water in the hydrants, Governor?
That's all, literally.
Is it going to be different next time?
What would need to happen for Newsom to actually do it?
I think he's in a tough spot. He's got the Olympics coming up in 28. If it's not rebuilt in 3 years, dude, I'm telling you, this state could go bankrupt. I'll bet you he's under some stress right now. I think his entire career's over. And I hope it is.
You can ignore the facts, but you can't ignore the consequences of ignoring the facts.
The state, California, wants common sense back. So what I would say to Trump is, look, this is the solution.
I know you talked about early on, not having a father, male role model present. When your dad died, how old were you?
I was 10. Yeah, lost my older brother when I was 20. Overdosed 3 times, Nobody knows that today. They just see me, oh, the Grant Cardone,
Yeah, he's got the money.
That was easy, bro. That happened overnight. Come on, man.
How you deal with late nights alone and insecurities alone.
When you're suffering, bro, ain't nobody with you. It takes a lot of insight for you to be even asking this question.
If you were to one day be in public office, what would be the first 5 things on the agenda?
Biggest, most important thing needs to be the cleanup. Should be done in 18 months or less, not a day over. The other thing I would do is...
Before we get into this epic interview, I have one quick ask. Well, we've had the privilege of reaching millions of people on the show. The data shows that almost 80% of you guys who watch the show aren't yet subscribed. So if you could do me one quick favor and click that subscribe button right now, it would mean the absolute world to us. Because when you hit subscribe, not only are you allowing us to grow the show, get bigger guests, ask better questions, but you're allowing us to honor our commitment to do everything in our power to help you take your life, your business, your health, your relationships to that next level. And with no further ado, enjoy the show. Hey guys, welcome to this episode of the Passionate Few podcast. It's your host, Omar, and today we sit down with none other than the CEO of Cardone Capital, none other than the king himself, Mr. 10X, Grant Cardone. Thanks so much for being on the show today,
thank
GC.
You, man. But look, I'm not a king. I'm just a guy in the grind, trying to figure it out, trying to make a difference. And, I'm a family man and a husband, trying to be a good husband. That's hard. And a father, trying to be a good father, and a citizen, trying to do his part. So thanks for having me.
Absolutely, man. You've been inspiring millions for a long time now, man. So I appreciate you.
Yeah,
I know we go way back. First question I have.
Oh, this is the hard hit. He told me before this. He's like, I got a big one coming out the box, man.
Are you running for governor of California one day?
What I'm doing right here, right now, dude, is I'm running up and down the state, trying to get people activated, trying to get them excited, trying to get people actually angry. I'm trying to get them out of this lower complacency, conservative, everything's going to be fine. Folks, everything is not going to be fine, okay? Your state's burning down. You're getting overtaxed. Crime is out of control. Nobody feels safe. You can't go to Beverly Hills with a watch on. Can't have your car parked on the street. This is insanity.
That's right.
Taking place in this state. So all I'm doing is running up and down the state at my cost to try to energize and get the people excited about maybe a new direction for this great state, because I don't live here today, okay? I lived here for 25 years. This is the greatest state in the country. I love this place. I left because they ran me out, dude. I didn't leave here because I wanted to. I left here because I had to go.
You were in La Jolla and Beverly Hills, I believe.
We were in La Jolla, then we were up in the hills above Beverly Hills, not with all the rich people in the flats.
Yeah.
And we left 12 years ago, dude, because I couldn't grow my business here. The regulations, you can't hire people. People have a problem, they sue you, then they get you. They litigate here. We had problems with expansion, office space, renting space, doing anything, running ads. Like we had 3 people when I was here, maybe 3 to 6.
Yeah.
We had $3 million a year in revenue. We left here It just goes to show you when you get rid of suppression,
Yeah.
when you get rid of people that are pushing against you. We left here with $3 million a year in revenue. I was making maybe 300 or 400 grand a year after taxes, and went to Florida. In 12 years, we did $750 million last year.
Holy
Went
shit.
from 3 people to 1,500,
Yeah.
from 260 units to 15,000 units,
Yeah.
from one little company to, I don't know, 9 companies.
Yeah.
It's just easier to do business there.
Yeah, and it's wild what's going on in California, man. You see, since January 7th, I think $30 billion in damages, 200,000 people
No,
evacuated.
there's not 30 billion, bro.
50,000
There's not $30
acres.
billion in damages.
More?
There's 50 billion to clean up. This bill is going to be $500 billion. Okay, that's literally 10x what they all came out and said it was going to be.
Yeah.
It'll cost to clean up 14,000 homes in just in the Palisades is going to cost. It's going to be 50 to 60 billion.
That's insane.
You got to remove all that. It'll be probably it'll be billions of dollars in cleanup. The issue is going to be how long does it take?
Yeah.
If it takes 7 or 8 years, then the state's done.
And what happens to that land when you have 50,000 acres burned and all these, I think it's over 200,000 people who had to evacuate?
Yeah, yeah.
It's insane. What's going to happen to that land, and what do you see happening with the state of California in terms of how the hell they're going to
It
clean
depends
it up?
on what happens in the next 18 months.
So Newsom's got to go, step one.
So Newsom could save himself
How?
if he won't though. Okay, but Trump will come in tomorrow. He'll be here tomorrow,
Yeah.
and Trump's probably going to go warp speed. He's going to probably do what he did with the vaccines with the state of California and save it himself.
Yeah.
But if Newsom does it, Newsom has to get all the people out of the way that he put in the way. So the Coastal Commission, the environmentalists. The biggest challenge here is going to be the cleanup. You got to clean this place up. The place needs to be cleaned up in 45 days. All the debris, every lost piece, every burnt piece of timber, the asbestos, everything needs to be cleaned, removed, and taken to another and buried. Taken to a landfill and buried. That should happen in 45 days. They won't do that. It's going to probably take 9 to 15 months.
Yeah.
If you don't do it in 45 days, the state's going to tap out. The people that live here are going to get, okay,
Yeah.
it's never coming back. And they're going to come up with some other grand plan to rebuild the Palisades, which
Yeah.
won't be a good plan.
Yeah.
So what I would tell Donald Trump, and he can do it, he's probably the only guy that can do it, come in here with his presence. He just won an election by mandate and say, hey, and he'll want to do this. We're going to clean the landfill. We're going to remove all the debris from Malibu to the Palisades. We're going to do that in 45 days, fastest ever. We built the world, not the World Trade Center, the New York State Empire. Empire State Building. I get
yeah.
it right. It's late.
Yeah.
Empire State Building was built in 12 months.
Wow.
People forget that. We used to do everything fast. Now it takes 7 years to get an approval in the city to build, start
Right.
to finish. It takes 7 months in Dubai.
Yeah.
From-
What caused that red tape?
Bro, because they don't want growth. I mean, we could sit here and talk about this problem for 2 hours. Okay,
Yeah.
It is so crazy.
Yeah.
So first you got to remove the debris. Second thing they would do is give immediate approval in a kiosk system without a human being being involved. Imagine if you could get an approval to rebuild your house and you don't have to talk to a human being. Okay, let's say your foundation's still in place. Like my place in Malibu, the foundation's still in place.
That's a crazy story. We'll get into that
Yeah,
too.
so because
yeah.
the foundation's in place, if I can go to the kiosk, not to a human, and say, hey, we have the technology, bro. Like it's incredible, right? It's mind blowing. We have 3 companies worth $12 trillion up in Silicon Valley, and we cannot figure these kind of bullshit problems out. We can irrigate the golf course. When you drove up, you looked out your window and you're like, oh my God, it's so beautiful here. Everything's irrigated, everything's green, everything's clean. But you can't do that to the forest. It's bullshit. They don't want to do it.
Yeah,
so
even the water was tapped out. The reserves, the water reserves. That
it was empty,
insane.
bro. It was empty.
Yeah,
Why would
crazy.
you empty a reservoir during fire season when you know fires are coming?
And cut the budget by $17 million.
Why would you do that? Like, do you not care? And the insurance companies knew it was a problem. That's why they pulled out in the last 24
Fire
months.
insurance, yeah.
They're like, hey, we can't take this risk. They know there was a risk of fires here. There's been fires coming here since the Indians were here because every winter the Indians would go to the beach. They'd move from here, this part. They'd move to the beaches because they knew the fires were coming.
Yeah.
They'd move all their tents and their families, the whole village would move. And once a year, they would move back and forth. So what I would say to Trump is, if I had a meeting with him, I'd be like, look, this is the solution. 45 days cleanup from day one. We're already back 7 days. So now we're down to 38
How
days.
much would that cost?
That's going to probably cost $10 billion.
And where would the funds come from for that?
You're going to have to write a check.
Yeah. So the
so
government's going to have to bail out the
no,
situation.
California needs to write a check. Now, if he doesn't write a check, he's going to lose the state, which means the state will become a red state, a voting red state. So Newsom's in a check. He's in a checkmate now. So he's either got to write a check and clean it up fast, but to do that, he's got to step on the toes of the people that own him, the Coastal Commission, the environmentalists. So he's kind of he's probably in a checkmate. So is Rick Caruso.
That's right.
Because they're all connected. These people do not oppose one another. They're all buddies. They all get manicures in the same place, get their cufflinks from the same place, their suits from the same place, same bullshit, bro.
Yeah.
Okay. So they clean it up. If I have a foundation in place, if it didn't burn my foundation, I should be able to go into the city and say, with the kiosk and say, bang, I'm approved. Tell me what I'm approved for. If I had 4,000 square feet, you approve me for 4,400 square feet, and you tell me the 4 or 5 things that'll keep my house from burning down. If I'm willing to fund that, fast track me. Let me build that house in 6 months. If that happened and they started building houses in the Palisades before the end of the year, if we had homes going up in October, bro, this state would flourish. It would boom. It would be explosive. Same thing with the PCH in Malibu. There's Carbon Beach, and then there's, what's that other little beach called? It's called Millionaire Row, but it's not. It's look it up on the phone. Look it up. Don't. I know you
In Malibu off PCH, yeah.
Yeah, it's right next to my house. It's Carbon Beach, and then there's.
Yeah, you got a $40 million home in Carbon Beach, and I saw the video that they were sending the updates. Every house burned right up until the edge of your house.
26 homes burnt. Bing, 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 bing. I've been telling people for years.
Yeah.
Okay, if the fire ever crosses the PCH, the entire beach will burn to the ground except for my house because it's all concrete. The foundation is 26.
So you had that in mind?
Dude, I wouldn't have bought any of that timber over there. It's all timber. Some of that timber is 75 years old.
What's crazy to me,
remember
too,
all the electrical posts?
Uh-huh.
All that timber's been 80 years old. Why is it above ground? There's 80-mile-an-hour winds coming through every year, not every once in a while. This isn't like hurricanes, bro. Like, this is every single year. You've lived here long enough. The Santa Anas come through. They come from the east. They blow west hard, 40 miles an hour, 60 miles an hour, and they're hitting those electrical lines, laying them down on timber. They light up, transponder blows up, boom. All you need is one match, bro, and that whole freaking line of homes went up. What's it called, Jared? Oh, my God. La Costa Beach.
La Costa.
La Costa lost. I'll bet you there's on La Costa Beach, which everybody knows this. If you've ever driven down the PCH, you go into Malibu, you see the Malibu sign, and you're like, oh, I'm in Malibu. And then you look to your left if you're going west, what you think is north, okay, because you're traveling down the coast, but part of it. So if you're going what appears to be north, you look to your left and you see all these homes. If you're coming south, going back to the 10, they're right here on the right side of your thing. And you're like, these homes are stacked right on top of each other. And then somebody tells you that's 40 million, 30 million, 20 million. You're like, that's shack? And everybody has the same comment. You mean that piece, that shack? Like, this could be a 1,500 square foot cedar wood, 8-foot ceiling, and it's going to be $15 million.
Yeah,
it's a tear down.
Yeah.
Now, why was that tear down? Why has that tear down been there for so many years? Because somebody wanted to buy it. But the guy that wanted to buy it went in there and said, I'll give you $12 million for this piece of land, but I got to tear it down because I can't live in that shit.
Right.
But they wouldn't let him tear it down. They stopped development because there's some environmentalists, some liberal, bizarre, freak-agended environmentalists is saying we cannot change the coastline. The coastline needs to look like it looked 75 years ago. Well, guess what? Mother Nature decided it ain't going to look that way anymore. What it should have been what's built in Miami.
Yeah.
Cat 5 hurricanes, concrete, steel and glass.
Yeah.
You can't burn it. Those would have been all private. Like my home should be required to irrigate its surroundings. Every home on that beach, every home in the Palisades should have built-in irrigation today.
Hey everyone, we'll dive back into the video in just a sec, but first, quick question for you. Did you know that 90% of all millionaires in the US have made their wealth through real estate? Here's what no one else will tell you. You see, top investors like Grant Cardone aren't looking for deals on Zillow or through a realtor. Why? Because the best real estate deals aren't listed publicly. They're kept off market. And off market properties are where the real opportunities are. Hidden gems that can be purchased for a fraction of their real value. And there's one platform that's completely changing the game for off-market properties, InvestorLift. InvestorLift is the #1 marketplace for off-market deals in the US with billions of dollars in real estate transactions under its belt. And now, InvestorLift is making it easier than ever to connect with investors just like you with the best possible deals using AI matching algorithms. So if you're ready to start acquiring off-market properties, you can set your ideal criteria, location, budget, property type, and start receiving AI-matched deals as soon as they're listed. No delays, no guesswork. And the best part, it's completely free. So if you want to get started in the off-market real estate game, head to investorlift.com right now to start receiving deals and acquiring properties. Thank you to InvestorLift for sponsoring this video. And now let's get back to the show. Yeah, it's crazy. They say you can ignore the facts, but you can't ignore the consequences of ignoring the facts. And one of the things that's crazy to me too is that even in the photo of your home, I saw there's like a fire station literally right behind the house, right?
Yeah.
And even though it's right behind the house, how did the houses 3 to your right, 4, 5, 6 to your, how did they burn down?
They didn't have any water. They didn't have any water pressure.
Wow.
So, you had literally my house, Jay, Beverly, the designer there, like all these people have lived there for years.
Yeah.
On top of that, they don't have but $3 million worth of insurance.
Oh man, so it doesn't even touch those property values. Yeah.
But, I mean, my neighbor's going to rebuild for what? It's going to cost anybody up and down that strip. It's going to cost them $15 million to rebuild. It's going to take them 7 years. And then when they do that, if they do that, they can only have $3 million worth of insurance. Why would they do that?
Yeah. Have you talked to Trump about any of this yet?
I can't talk about that.
What has it been like? Because I know you started to build a relationship. You had Trump at obviously one of your 10X events.
When he wasn't so popular, by the way.
Yes.
In fact, we had him at a time when we brought him out. It was 2021. Yeah. We had 3 speakers drop out. And if I told you their names, you would know all 3 of them.
Simply because he was...
Donald Trump, that's how unpopular he was at the time. He was radioactive, dude. He was like, nobody wanted to touch Donald Trump. If you spoke up for Donald Trump, talked Donald Trump, if you rocked, this was pre-MAGA. MAGA was not a thing yet. I mean, it was an idea, but it wasn't like I'm rocking red. And we had Trump there. It was a surprise. And we had 3 speakers, dude. Our anchor speaker, which I don't blame that guy because that guy had so many endorsement deals. He could have lost so much. And at that time, bro,
I know who it is.
woke was in place.
Yeah.
And then a couple other guys one of them, I don't even remember his name anymore. He's nobody anymore, I don't think. Is he? No, he kind of is. He won't give me a name. And then the other guy's just a punk. I never wanted to do him. Jared invited him. I was like, I don't care if I lost that guy. Let him go meditate.
What's Trump's biggest, what's the biggest thing just being around him?
I just want to say that anybody that dropped out of that because Donald Trump was showing up, you just gave up your American rights. It is so unbelievable to me. I live in America, man. This is the greatest place in the world to be free, and so many people do not practice their freedom.
That's right.
Like to me, if I lose an endorsement deal, and I've lost a lot of business because I say what I want to say.
That's right.
But I'd rather lose the business than lose my freedom. And our businesses just grew, by the way. My businesses haven't gotten smaller because people say shit about me or because I'm like, hey, I'm going to rock the red because I do want to make America great again. Or because I'm gonna come to California and I'm gonna fight these environmentalists and the coastal people. I got a house in harm's way right now. So I'm gonna talk shit about these people. Hopefully I'm gonna get the people angry enough and energized enough and activated enough to think that they could actually beat these institutions.
And I know you're doing a 26 city stop tour here in California.
Yeah.
Looking to connect with more people. What's the vision with that?
Well, we're probably gonna do 30 cities in 30 days, maybe more than that. We're gonna do 2 on Saturday. So as we get more demand from people, here, I want to donate my place, come, I'll gather people. I just need the help of the people to do it. I can't do it on my own.
Yeah.
I only have so many people that follow me or hear me or see me. I only have a couple of, social media pages. So I need people like yourself to get the word out that like, let's get this state back.
Yeah, 100%. What about in terms of time you spent with Trump behind the scenes? What's he like behind the scenes?
He's
that a lot of
fantastic,
people
dude.
don't get to see?
He's an amazing person. Okay, so the first time I met him was, and I've never been a fanboy, right?
Yeah.
Like everybody can be critical of everybody, and people are critical of me, and I can be critical of you. You know, we've sat and criticized him as well. Like the whole world said, "Come on, man, don't say that. Don't say it like that," right? But Brandon Dawson invited me to go play golf with him. And Brandon called me one night and said, "Hey, you want to go play golf with Trump up at Bedminster?"
When was this?
This was 2019,
2020.
It was 2020. And I said, "Nah, dude, not really." And my wife's like, "What? What's wrong with you?" And I'm like, "I don't want to fly all the way up there, play golf with Trump, and he feels obligated to play with me and whatever he owes somebody." I mean, I didn't even understand how all that got done or why he would even do it.
Right.
I'm like, why does he want to play golf with me? And so she's like, "Oh, you're going."
Elena sold you on it.
No, she didn't sell me on it. That ain't selling. That's telling. She's like, "Oh, you're going.
Yeah.
You're going." And I'm like, "Okay." So I went, and I'm glad I did, by the way.
Yeah.
Because the guy I met was nothing like the guy I've seen on TV.
Mm-hmm.
Like he is completely. The thing that amazed me first was how interested he was in me. He was interested in my business. He was interested in me. He was interested in my plane. "Hey, tell me about your Gulfstream."
Yeah.
So
he's
like, "It's not as big as mine, But
Yeah.
I said, "I know." He's like, "But man, I heard it's fast." And then he very personable and interested. Like I thought he'd be this kind of self-absorbed guy. Probably what people think about me. They think he's self-absorbed, cocky, arrogant, all that stuff I hear people say about me. He was completely not that.
Yeah.
And then it was super hot. It was summer and it was so hot. I said, after playing like 5 or 6 holes, I said, I felt bad. I'm like, "Look, we can go in." He's like, "Yeah, let's go have a tea." And we went in and we spent an hour and a half talking over lunch.
Just shooting the shit.
Dude, how do you get people to your conference? He would ask me that. I remember him like, I was sitting where you are and he's sitting right here. He's like, "So why do people come there?" In that Trump way. But I said, "Well, they come, how many people?" I said, "Well, there's going to be 18,000 at this." He's like, "That's a lot of people." He's like, "If I came, there'd be more people." I said, "No, there wouldn't." He's like, "What do you mean there wouldn't be more people?" I said, "It's already sold out." He's like, "Well, who are they coming for? What are they coming for?" I said, "Well, they're coming. I invite them. They know I'm going to be there."
Yeah.
"But what about who else is coming?" I said, "Well, they don't know who's coming." He's like, "Well, you should add me and advertise me because more people come and they'll pay more."
Yeah.
This is a true conversation.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Well, no, sir, they wouldn't pay anymore because they're not going to know you're coming if you decide to come." And he's like, "Well, you should promote me though. You should let them know that I'm coming because you'll get more." I said, "No, they're already paying 20 grand a ticket." And he's like, "Who are you?" True story. Brandon Dawson's like, "Let me explain it to you."
Yeah.
And he was president at this time. He had been president.
Yeah.
And lost. And so it was just that for an hour and a half, dude. He's like, "What business do you like better? You like your real estate business or your ventures business, or do you like your the educational business? And why do you do these events?" And he was just very, very curious.
Yeah, I've heard that. I actually got in touch with some people from his cabinet, got to meet him. I actually got to go to election night. I got to see him, Dana, Elon. I got to see a whole bunch of them. It was cool to witness it that night.
Were you at Mar-a-Lago the night of the election?
Correct. Yes.
Oh, I was there.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't see you there. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then after we went to the Palm Beach Convention Center.
Yeah.
And then that's when he came out and did his speech
Yeah,
there as well.
it.
But yeah, no, it's been awesome to see. And I actually got to meet Dr. John DeMartini, who used to live, he's a doctor who used to live at Trump Tower, right underneath Trump. And he was telling us, off camera, he was saying that Trump is totally not the guy that people see him.
Yeah.
He knows how to play the character in an honest and integral way, but he knows how to say what needs to be said to get people to think and move differently.
Yeah.
But he also likes to, provoke a little bit and polarize a little bit,
He's a beast, man. I mean, he's when he won, I was so happy for him, man. I'm like, man. And happy for all people that have a dream that you don't have to sell out. You don't have to prostitute yourself. And because to me, Donald Trump is a guy that he gives me permission to be myself and not sell out. Because I would assume, I don't know this to be true, but I would assume it was very difficult on his family.
I can only imagine.
Dude,
especially at his age, the amount of that you have the DOJ coming after him, you have everybody coming after him. From
Everybody's telling you you're wrong. Everybody, even your voters, your supporters, family members had to be saying, no, you shouldn't say that, and you shouldn't do this, and you shouldn't do that. And I asked Don Jr. about this once in a interview, and I said, well, do you guys ever tell him, of course, Grant, I mean, what do you think? And I was like, yeah, of course, right? Because I know in my life, I'll say something, it'll come out wrong, or I just said it wrong.
Yeah.
Or it just sounds terrible when you go back and listen to it. And my wife will immediately be like, dude, no telling what this guy was getting, bro. Like,
Yeah.
And the point is that he still could be, he did not change who he is. Now, some people say, well, that's good. He should have changed, but he won.
And what I love about him, they call him the Teflon Don, you know, because nothing sticks to him.
Yeah.
You'll always have him in a suit and tie, or he's got his polo on the golf course.
Yeah.
You'll never see him with a T-shirt and shorts, half-assing his presentation.
Yeah.
Always top-notch, always ready to go, always assertive, always on point.
Yeah.
What could be a better
and always on
commander-in-chief?
attack too. He's a fighter, man.
Yeah. Well, could you imagine if Kamala got put in office, the world we'd be in right now with what's going on in California? It'd be absolutely nuts. Now, do you think that coming into office in 2024, obviously he's made some crazy executive orders, like even just coming in the first few days, he's got some people in place. What do you think about him putting Elon and some of the leadership he's put in place? What are your thoughts on that?
It's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
There should be a lot of deleting done. We need to get competent, practical people that know how to prioritize. You know, good leadership is not sitting at a podium. It's like, okay, number one, we do this, and then number two and number three.
Yeah.
We'll get to number 15 when we get to 15, but right now it needs to be 1, 2, and 3. And that's what this state doesn't do. This state's got, dude, we got rodents are more important than the residents. Homeless people, hey, they need a place. It's a problem. But they spent $15 billion on homeless, and we have more homeless. And now we have the people with homes that paid for homes that are homeless. This is insanity, okay? They figured out how to put plexiglass up in the Starbucks and the 6-foot sign and had masks to everybody, and they figured out how to freaking distribute a vaccine that hadn't been proven to anybody in booster shots, but they can't figure out how to irrigate our forest. This is insanity, bro.
Yeah, in a state like California, yeah. It's
and the people are complicit. No offense to the people in California, but you're complicit. You continue to pay the highest taxes in the country, the highest home prices, the highest rents, the highest food prices, okay? Because you put up with the bullshit.
What would have to happen for Grant Cardone to move back to California one day?
Go to 0% taxes. Go to 0. Go to 6.
Yeah.
The state would be flooded with people. 2, stop the regulations. Stop it. Let me build what I want, okay? Let me build what I want, where I want. Let the free market do its thing, okay? If I want to buy the 2 or 3 houses next to me and I want to build a freaking mansion there, let me build it, okay? If I just make sure I build it that it's safe.
Yeah.
And let people do business here, man. Quit taxing. You're penalizing the wrong people. You're penalizing the good guys, and you're rewarding the bad guys. So there's a lot of things that have to change. Stop the crime. You break the law. Protect the borders. Stop the illegal immigration. There's nothing wrong with inviting 1 million people to the state of California. So 1 million people come here from other parts of the world, bring $5 million with you, deposit it in an account. We should do that. We should bring 5 million people into the United States this year, legally, with money. 5 million people bring in $5 million. That's $25 trillion dropped into the U.S. economy. And it doesn't leave, by the way. That would be the deal.
Yeah.
You got 5 million deposited in an American account. We need money in this country.
Yeah.
We need people coming in that have money and resources so they're not stealing from us.
I'm curious, what makes you so passionate about leadership? In the sense of like, you know, the country, because,
Yeah.
you know, a lot of people know you as the business guy. You know, you wanted $1 billion of assets under management. You've obviously surpassed that. I know.
5 billion.
I know.
Sorry, you cut me hard, bro.
No. I remember the first interview. It was like I had said 540 million, and you were like, whoa. You were like, dude, it's at least 750 right now at that time, and that was years ago.
Yeah, I was getting started, and you know, when you go from 400. First of all, I grew up in a damn house that was $14,000.
Louisiana.
Yeah. And so I'm grinding here. I'm doing it the hardest way you can do it.
Do you trip out on where you're at in life still? or are you used
no,
to
no,
it now?
I'm disappointed with where I'm at in life.
Really?
Totally. I'll tell you more about that in a second. But
Yeah.
when you come from a $14,000 house and you're in America, I mean, this place is a dream state. California's it's just a 10x, 100x exaggeration of the dream. And you come here, and then I build this portfolio of real estate, this 700 million, and you're calling it 300. I'm like, bro, wait a minute. I worked for $400 million. I'm almost $5 billion today, but I did all that. I'm proud of what I did, dude. Like, I did all that without any institutions, no connections. I didn't have a Kickstart package. I didn't have a name. I didn't have any big banks helping me. I had nothing, bro. I had no mentor. I had zero.
And I know that.
And so all I'm saying to you is, like, to me, that is, and I want to make sure people know I did that
Yep.
in the 21st century. Like my social media thing that I did that when I was 52 years old, bro.
Yeah, I think you
you
raised hundreds of millions of dollars on social media. Nobody had
Raised
ever done that.
$1.5 billion.
$1.5 billion off social media.
I think we hit $1.6 billion this month.
Wow, that's insane.
That we took money from families that could invest in institutional quality assets. This was a brand new idea. Nobody's ever done this at scale. And I never get credit for this. I sound like Trump right now. Nobody gives me credit for that. Okay, but what I'm saying is, we sold over $1 billion, probably $1.5 billion worth of products on the internet. I did that without what is it? OnlyFans? I don't have an OnlyFans. I don't take off my clothes, bro. Yeah. I don't sing. I don't dance. We sell products and services, educational material to people over the internet, all over the world. Took those people, told them about these real estate investments. Those people then, like, I've raised more money than I made.
Absolutely.
And then I'm sorry to interrupt you, but we sent out $80 million last year to regular people. Other guys that do what I do, like I was at this event today, about 800 people. If they're doing what I do, they go to a bank and get one check. Okay, I don't get a check from a bank. We have no sponsors at our events, if you ever notice. Nobody tells me what to do or say. I can't ever lose your business. Bank of America, Wells Fargo, all those people are like, I don't get money from them. And people that do what I do typically go and they take a knee, they kiss the ring. It's Wall Street or big banks. They compromise themselves. And that's why I'm so proud of Donald Trump, because he just, like, he's a gangster, bro.
Yeah.
He is an individual. He's practicing freedom. He's fighting the biggest institutions in the world, and he won.
Mm-hmm. And the most critical time too. And did you notice how everybody changed their tune? Everybody that was hating him, running against him, calling him stuff, now he's putting them in power, and now they're changing their tune and supporting him and endorsing him. And yeah, it's wild, huh? I'm sure you've encountered a lot of that.
Yeah.
I want to ask two quick questions.
Everybody's a fan now, right?
Yep, exactly. Well, they're haters until they're fans.
Yeah.
I want to ask is, for you, I touched on it a little bit ago, but when you look at where you're at now, over $5 billion of assets under management, I got it right this time.
Thank you.
You grew up in Louisiana from humble beginnings. Like, do you ever walk around and go, holy shit, like, how did this all, how am I like millions of followers? I'm like the man. I'm like,
no, I never do that.
You never,
what I do,
never gets surreal for you?
No, what I do is,
because you inspire millions of people, including myself.
Well, thank you.
I used to knock doors real quick. I want to acknowledge you. How I first connected with your stuff is I was knocking door. I sold solar door to door. That's how I started any of this. And then I went to selling cars. But when I sold solar door to door, people told me about, like, this guy Grant Cardone.
Yeah.
And it was sell or be sold, be obsessed or be average.
Yeah.
And so I would just drill that stuff in my mind over and over and over and over again. And then I don't know if you remember, it was a long time ago. It was the first interview years ago where I went to, you were in, you're obviously based in Florida, but you were in LA in Beverly Hills. And you and Elena went to a restaurant in Beverly Hills. And I waited outside. You remember that?
Yeah, that was awesome, dude. I appreciated the hustle. So.
Yeah, I remember that. And then I went up and you were like, you drove 2.5 hours just to meet me, whatever. And I was like, yes, sir. I was like, yeah, and I'd love to interview on the pod. And you're like, all right, man, I respect the hustle. Let's do it. Yeah, and we did it in Malibu. It was me, you, Elena, and that interview
it was a kind of a dark conference room.
No, actually, that was later. That was one of the second or third ones. That was at the Beverly Hills. The first one was in Malibu. You guys had rented a house oceanfront. I believe it was the owner of Seven Jeans' house.
Yeah,
something like that.
That house is gone now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, burned to the ground.
We did it on the terrace outside.
Yeah,
I remember that. That's crazy. But I wanted to thank you because I went from consuming your
No,
stuff.
that was the home way north. That was
That was in Malibu. I can show you the photos
on
from
the
it, but-
big deck. It had a
Yes.
big deck. Oh yeah,
Huge
that house didn't burn down.
Okay, cool. Yeah. But it was a huge thing. And I remember like you changed my life many times.
Yeah.
The first time was through my sales training. And I went from being the like lowest producing guy in there. And I studied all your material. I ended up being the top guy. I started training other sales guys.
Wow.
And then that led to other opportunities and just ascending. And then I started the podcast when I went to pitch you. And by you giving me that chance, you changed my life, man. Because I was nothing at that time. And you saying, yeah, and then the interview actually did really well. You guys promoted it, and that led to a whole slew of opportunities. So I just wanted to thank you.
Man. You're welcome.
You've inspired so many people, including myself. So I just want to acknowledge you for that.
Thank you. I don't pay attention to that enough that people, have benefited somehow.
Yeah, because you're focused on getting the next billion.
No, not really. I mean, that's not what I'm focused on. Most of the time you're just slugging through problems and challenges and unknown, like I don't really look at, oh my God, I can't believe I got here. It's never that for me. It's like, okay, when am I going to make it?
Hey guys, we'll get right back to this video in a sec. But first, I have a quick question for you. Given that the e-commerce industry is growing by the trillions year over year, have you ever dreamed of owning your own e-commerce business like many of the guests we've had on the show, but maybe you feel stuck on how to start? Well, if so, you're not alone. The truth is, starting and setting up your own online store can be incredibly time-consuming, complicated, and get expensive. Not to mention the hassle of researching top products and staying on top of market trends that make you money. Lucky for you, that's where today's sponsor, StoreBuild.ai, comes in. With StoreBuild.ai, you instantly get a free custom-built, AI-driven store loaded with 20 winning products and a custom theme that can help you generate sales. All you need to do is head to StoreBuild.ai, enter your info, then simply sign up to Shopify for free, choose your store's look and feel, and voila! They'll send you your custom-built store ready to generate sales. The whole process is lightning fast. Whether you're just starting out or want to grow, StoreBuild.ai makes launching an online store easier than ever. So why wait? Visit StoreBuild.ai and in less than 5 minutes, you could have the e-commerce business you've always dreamed of. Thanks to StoreBuild.ai for sponsoring this video. And now let's get back to the show. What's next?
Dude, when is this going to get easy? Because it's not easy. Like everything's hard.
Yeah.
And so most of the time I'm actually, as much as maybe I look like, it's all great and everything, most of the time I'm very disappointed.
Yeah.
Believe it or not.
Are you stressed a lot of the time?
Am I stressed?
Is Grant Cardone stressed a lot
A little
of the time?
a little bit lately.
Really?
Yeah. A little bit lately.
And why?
More than normal. Just because we're morphing into something new. So I'd rather be stressed though than be bored and complacent.
Yeah.
So we had grooved in a number of things that were going a certain way and has been for years. But if you followed me for any length of time, I tend to shed skin and do new things.
Yeah, and that's really interesting because I know you talked about even early on when you were in California and you were killing it. You're doing, like you said, $3 million a year in revenue, doing about $300,000-$400,000 in take-home income.
Yeah.
And you literally, obviously, 10x and multiple x that sense. But I'm curious, like, where does the hunger come from in you? Because most people, you know what I mean? Most people are not doing what you're doing at your age and just pumping.
It comes from two places. One is so many other people have done so many other things, that are intriguing to me. Some of the names you mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
That people have done unbelievable things on this planet. Look what Trump did. And, Elon, look what Elon did. These guys are like,
yeah.
So that inspires me, right? I get pulled up in their example.
Have you?
And then the second part is that, I'm a very critical person of myself. And so I'm disappointed most of the time with where I'm at. So that it's more that than it is stress. The disappointment pulls me into a new neighborhood. Because the moment I'm bored, bro, like once I have something figured out, I want a new game.
Yeah.
I want to play a new game. I want to learn something new. I'm very curious.
And you want a bigger game.
I want a bigger game, always a bigger game, and always one that I can lose at. And then the problem is when you get successful, then you're like, why am I playing a game I can lose at when I can play one I can win at?
Yeah.
Like Because then you're kind of stupid. Because you're like, why am I playing a game that I can lose at when I can play a game I can win at? But the truth is, if you want to keep growing, you're going to play a game that you can lose at, not just keep playing a game you can win at.
Where was the moment you felt like you were financially free initially, the first time?
I mean, I don't know. Where was that? I was probably 31, 32 years old.
And then after that,
but the problem is with financial freedom
raised
at
the
32
bar.
years old, you're like, you got too much time. The moment you do the math and you got 70 years left to live, you're like, I don't have enough money.
how much were you making at that time?
Let's see. Well, I was 31 and I looked up and I had three accounts and I had $1 million, $1.1 million in the accounts. I didn't know I had that much money, and I was like, wow, I'm a millionaire.
Yeah.
And then I got scared, immediate fear. Oh, what do I do now?
And how do you keep the hunger going? Because I got a lot of friends. I'm sure you've met a lot of people mutually who, they make money or they sell a business and they make 5 million, 10 million, 20 million. And then they just chill hard, and you know what I mean. They just get comfortable, start going to the country club, start golfing 7 days.
They
a
don't
week.
get comfortable; they get miserable. Just ask them.
Yeah, entropy naturally it moves towards chaos and disorder.
Bro.
So you never had that? Like, where does your hunger or fire come from when it's not necessarily because you have plenty of money and obviously you create opportunities for lots of different people, but where does the hunger or fire come from when you're already financially not necessarily
the first place it comes from is my mission is not money driven. If it was, I could put it all up right now. So I can't spend the money I have now. So while I talk about money a lot, and it would look on the outside, if you don't know me, like that guy's money driven, and
you're like the symbol of it for most people.
because I was the guy that said, hey, money's not bad.
Yeah.
You guys should all go get it.
Yeah.
You should get it, and you could stack shitloads of it. You should stack bricks and do great things with money, and you should get more money and more money and more money. So I said that, and I still stand by that, by the way.
Yeah.
But that shouldn't be the driver.
Right.
I mean, it could be in the beginning.
Initially, yeah.
But it won't be forever, because I guarantee you, the watches, the cars, the clothes, the shoes, the plane, all that, they're nothing.
Did you ever have seasons where you got complacent or miserable when you made money?
100%, dude. And that's the problem, right? So while it might appear that I'm money driven, actually I'm not. Like it because it's not. It doesn't satisfy you. You know what my mission is to serve mankind, to make a difference, and people. I know what people say. I know everything they say, dude.
Yeah. Dude, you get it, bro. You get the hate, you get the love.
Bro,
I
know. Look,
even John Laguerre, the T-Mobile.
I don't need anybody to tell me what my shortcomings are.
Yeah.
I know them. I was talking to a guy. I can't tell you all the details of this 3 days ago. He told me why I couldn't do something. Okay.
Uh-oh. I
told him why, because he was telling me about there's a lot of shortcomings with you doing this particular thing. I can't fill in more than that. But it's
I have an intuitive feeling I know what it is.
okay. So just stay with that.
Okay.
And then I gave him 8 reasons why it would be very difficult for me to pull this off. And he wrote me back. He's like, most people do not have the introspective that you have. Most people in this field do not have your introspection, your awareness of your shortcomings. So look, nobody needs to say one thing about me. I know everything wrong with me. Okay. And I'm not trying to fix it. Like I am who I am. This is the package. Now, I know in my heart, like probably Trump knows, he knows he actually wants to make America great again. The fact that he might get rich and his family's going to get rich and they're going to have power, he's like, yeah, that's going to happen too.
That's a byproduct.
By the way, that might be the first product. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I don't know of a president or a king or a queen that hadn't gotten rich. So, whatever, that's his business. He's got to deal with his God the way he deals with his God. I got to deal with mine the way I deal with mine. And I'm just saying, like, I want to serve mankind. There's 8 billion people on this planet. And I want to help as many people as I can while I'm here and while I can help. And there's some things that I know that I'm good at that I can help people with, and I want to help them. And if me coming back to the state of California, I can activate people and put rallies together and get people excited and possibly get this Newsom and this Bass and all these freaking communist socialists nasty, evil intentioned, mixed up, confused people out of this state, or at least get them out of power. Because they're not leaders, okay? This is a lack of leadership, but they are in power. If I can do that because of my skill set and I'm willing to confront people and say it like it is, I'm willing to offend people and not apologize, then maybe that's my community service.
And you think it's realistic for California to turn conservative?
100%. I don't think this is a red or blue. It's not a Democrat or a Republican thing. I think the state of California wants common sense back. I think it wants to go back to its roots in the 1800s where people came here and did whatever the fuck they wanted to do. You built where you wanted to build, okay? You came and you worked. This is one of the hardest. This state has become kind of, conditioned with us believing everybody's in Hollywood. Most of the people are not Hollywood. They're farmers and they're ranchers and they're hard workers and plumbers and contractors and truckers, and they work their asses off. They're family people. They're not Hollywood, dude. The state of California now is considered trans, gay, and Hollywood. That's not what it is, though. And drug addiction everywhere. Yep. And needles on the street and homeless people. That's the new, but that's not what this state is. And so, do I think it could flip? 100%. We have a moment in time where the Democrats would lose control of 54 electoral votes. I think there's 54.
Yeah.
And they'd lose them for possibly the next 12 years.
Yeah.
And that means they would not have the White House for 3 presidential cycles.
Yeah. And do you think the actual recovery plan is something that's going to be put in effect, or do you think it's like what would need to happen for Newsom to actually do it? Because I do agree that he's in a checkmate position, but I mean, do you think that's feasible that he would actually move on that?
I think he's in a tough spot.
Yeah.
Okay, if I do that, well, then why haven't I been doing that?
Yeah.
He's got the Olympics coming up in 28. We're in 25. If it's not rebuilt in 3 years, dude, I'm telling you, this state could go bankrupt. He's got an insurance problem to fix. He's got a debris problem he's got to fix. He's going to have 3 more fire seasons before the Olympics. I'll bet you he's under some stress right now.
Oh yeah, big time.
He's got to be thinking, shit, I'm gonna be out of a job and I will never be able to work again. He'll never run for president. Okay, they're going to get rid of Karen
Bass. Yeah.
They're going to get rid of Kamala. Can't come back. There's no way she can do this. The state of California will not vote for her. So I think he's checkmated. I think his entire career is over, and I hope it is. He should never be allowed anywhere near a company or a country or a government to run anything.
Did you see that interview that Trump was doing where they were asking him about him and he said new scum? And they were like, Newsom, and he was like, new scum. Like he kept insisting on it.
He loves that. You see, he's childish, you know. He's like,
yeah,
you know, like Elon. Elon's childish. I'm a childish person. Once I pick a fight, dude, I'm gonna forget your name and I'm gonna tag you with something else.
Yeah, but you have fun with it, man. It's one of the things that I've always loved about your brand, and you kind of building that message. Like you've inspired a whole lot of people, and there's a lot of people in personal development and leadership that people look up to, but you're one of the few that looks like they're having a good time doing it. And you've always been innovative too. One of the things I wanted to ask, switching gears a little bit, is obviously with the
54. Sorry,
54.
I couldn't move up that. I need to be sure it was 54. Because if you can get 54 votes here, bro, like they could win Pennsylvania. They have to win Pennsylvania like 7 times every election season. So my point is, for all you guys that are out there, you're political, you want to see the state change, you want common sense back in, 10xcalifornia.com, man. Go there and register, number 1. 2, okay, come to one of these rallies or hit us and say, hey, I want to put a rally on. I'll come. I'll donate my time and I'll come show up. You want to put one on?
I'll do it.
Get a bunch of people. I'll come. I'll speak. I'll bring my buddies in. Okay?
Let's do it.
And you'll get some freaking unbelievable content.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it.
We're already getting some media attention on this. Sunday morning, I'm on TV here in LA, and so people are becoming interested. I'm getting a lot of people from the state are just like interested in this game.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a game, by the way. This is a game where the good guys get to win something and the bad guys get to be sidelined.
Yeah,
The sideline. Let's get rid of the Coastal Commission, get rid of the environmentalists. Let's take care of our property owners and our taxpayers. This could be fun, man. We got 18 months to pull this off. Maybe probably less than that, just 12 months of hard work.
Yeah, I love that, man, because you've advocated for people making sure their personal economy is right.
Yeah.
When we had shit leadership in place. And now it's like, if we can get our personal economy and our global economy, now we're moving and grooving.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And you know, I don't know if you know this, they want to take taxes to 14.4 now.
Yeah, I saw that.
Or has that been approved?
I saw that. No.
He wants a $2 gas tax by 2030, so that you're driving electric. So whatever the gas is, they want to add $2 on top of that, so you don't drive gas.
Yeah, him and Biden.
It's fucking insane, bro.
I
They won't bury the electrical underground because they said they don't have the money, but they spent $18 billion on a rail that nobody in the state of California wants.
Yeah.
Like, I can take Southwest to Vegas, and that's where the rail was going to go. I don't think they built 50 feet of it. So it's just insane, man.
It's unbelievable. Even and then when you had Biden in office, it just empowered it even more. I saw this thing that was talking about Biden was signing executive orders on things he wasn't even reading. I don't know if you saw, it was with I forget if it was McCarthy. I forget who it was, but they were doing an interview with him, and they were saying, you know, now that Biden's out of office, I think it just came out like a day ago, that he was signing executive orders and he wasn't even reading them.
Yeah.
Like, he was fully just being briefed by his team, you know, and Biden doesn't even know what's going on.
Who knows?
So it's been absolutely bonkers. Switching gears, I want to talk about cryptocurrency and AI.
Yeah,
Obviously, it's been a huge thing. Trump just announced a huge round of investment. You have, you know, nations all over the world investing here. And I know you have talked about, you know, being one of the first people to use Bitcoin to buy commercial real estate or get involved in commercial real estate. What are your thoughts on cryptocurrency, the future of it, and how it might play into real estate?
Yeah, so I have been studying particularly Bitcoin since 13, quietly, not telling anybody about it.
Did you buy it in 2013?
Uh-huh.
Nice. How much?
I was given 100 pieces
No way.
in 13
Shut up.
for a speaking gig, and I still have it.
No way.
And I've been buying it since then. And then once I'm like, oh, wow, okay, this is how this works. Oh, I see this. Oh, my God, it went up, it went down, it went up, it went down. It's liquid, so I've been adding. But we just launched a real estate Bitcoin fund. And by the way, for anybody watching, I'm not here to tell you to go buy Bitcoin. I have a better way to get Bitcoin than buying Bitcoin. I had the real estate buy the Bitcoin. So what people didn't understand was I was buying my real estate and taking part of the cash flow of the real estate and using the cash flow to buy Bitcoin. And when I started looking at what...
Also, you hold the asset and then you're cash flowing in Bitcoin. Like, you convert the cash flow into
what I'm converting the cash flow to Bitcoin. And when I started looking at which one was performing the best, we created this for the public, where I bought a piece of real estate with my money, $72 million. We added $15 million worth of Bitcoin at purchase. So I closed for $88.1 million in total with fees and everything. And then I go to my audience and say, hey guys, I'm going to own this. I can own it with you. I can own it without you, whatever. I've already paid for it. We closed it. Would you guys like to come in? Let's say 88 guys come in. Everybody puts in $1 million. And then every month when the property's 300 units up in Melbourne, next to where Elon launches rockets.
Is this accredited investors or?
This is accredited, but I want to open it up for everybody.
Yeah.
And then every month, the property cash flows $300,000 a month. There's no debt on the property. There's not a loan. Paid for in cash.
Cash, okay.
Bitcoin's paid for in cash. And we're paying for both with cash. You follow me? So we're taking US dollars, buying the real estate, get that transaction, buy the Bitcoin. And then every month, the property cash flows $300,000. And we, rather than distributing that to our investors, we buy Bitcoin and we hold it on our books. So at the end of 4 years, we'll have $88 million worth of property.
Can that get super risky if Bitcoin dips
Well,
significantly?
I'll show you what could happen, okay?
Yeah.
And we'll have 350 pieces of Bitcoin. We paid $88 million for the whole thing. In the third year, between year 3 and year 4, my property's worth $88 million. I could sell it for $88 million.
You're already up $16 million on that alone, yeah.
Yeah. And I own 350 pieces of Bitcoin for nothing.
My guy.
So what's better than Bitcoin? Bitcoin, you don't pay for it.
Yeah.
So like that's where the lesson, I went and spoke at a gig, somebody gave me Bitcoin. rather than fiat. And this is when I learned there was other ways to get paid. And so we started doing it with our real estate. My brother's been doing it for years.
Gary. Yeah.
I distribute a bunch of, because he's in some of my first funds, my first 6 deals I ever did. We still own those deals today, 12 years later. We bought, it was $58 million worth of real estate. It's probably worth $250 million today. Went up 10 times. And every month for the last 12 years, he gets a check. Well, he's been converting. I don't think I'm telling any of his story that there's not known, but some of that cash flow he was converting to Bitcoin. And the Bitcoin exploded. Now, if it crashes, let's say it goes to zero. It won't, but let's say it does. I still have my real estate. But what if it goes to 1 million or 250 or 400 or 3 million
or
13 million?
So how long do you plan to hold? I'm sure you have targets.
Well, we have a bunch of, probably hold forever because we'll probably take mortgages against both because we have the
Leverage,
right, we have the right administration to go show a new product to. I'm gonna put 10 of these together between now and the summer. I'm gonna take them and put them into a REIT. I'm gonna bring them public.
And I know you had a meeting. I believe you had a meeting with Michael.
And then I'm gonna go to like a Howard Lutnick, that's Commerce Secretary right now, who's a big Bitcoin guy. He's got a couple $100 million. The whole administration is Bitcoin friendly, crypto friendly, and then I'm gonna go and build mortgage products out of this, where we've got 10 and 15 and 20-year mortgage products that you can borrow against the real estate and the Bitcoin combined.
Wow. Now, what about Michael Saylor?
I met with Mike twice.
What was that like?
He's the one. Oh, fantastic guy.
What's Michael Saylor like behind the scenes?
Same guy you see on the. I mean, it's basically the same guy.
Yeah.
Same guy. Very interested in what I was doing. Grant, you have the perfect vehicle to do this with. I said, well, what do you mean? He's like, number one, people trust you. That's the most important thing. Number two, you have a great brand. 3, you haven't let your investors down. He knew everything about me, dude. I know you do real estate, it's boring. You know,
Yeah.
and so I'm like, well, Mike, what if I put together, like, what if I told him about the model? He's like, that's for pussies. I said, what do you mean? He's like, dude, you need to do 50-50, 50% real estate, 50% Bitcoin. He's like, better than that, you should do 20% real estate and 80% Bitcoin. I'm like, bro, I'm not this isn't a Bitcoin play. This is a real estate play.
Yeah.
Mike, that buys my Bitcoin. So I think this is going to be the biggest thing I've ever done, except for maybe one other thing I'm working on. But
anything you could share on that? Give us a little hint.
You've been brushing around.
Got it. Got it. Now, if you were to hypothetically do that, whatever.
Yeah.
What about it calls you to it?
Well,
like
there's, dude.
I love that smile. I love that smile.
I'm just curious. Yeah, I'm just curious
Yeah.
about, I said this earlier, right? I have to play games that I can lose at. So, like, it's no fun playing a game you win at all over and over. This year, we're going to do our last 10X growth conference this year.
Ever.
Yeah.
And the rationale being so you can free up bandwidth for more.
I've done 10 of them, man. Like, at some point.
Yeah.
I remember one of the sharks called me from Shark Tank and said, hey, man, we've done like 11 seasons. I'm thinking about renewing. I'm like, bro, you've already done enough seasons. Like, what's the difference between 11 and 12? Nothing. You already done 11 or whatever it was, 10 at the time. Like, at some point, you're like,
what's next? Yeah.
What's next? So, when you're a kid, you want to be an adult. And when you're an adult, you want to be a kid. I want to play games that I have the potential to lose at, but there is a chance of winning.
Has there been times in your life or in your sort of business as you were developing when you're trying different things where you are essentially alone a lot in the sense of, obviously your wife can understand you to a certain degree, but they're not in the trenches with you, your executive team. Yeah. Obviously they're on payroll. It's like different. And you're very alone in a lot of ways.
You understand.
Yeah, I get it.
You understand.
Even though you're super alone and they lean on you and look at you and
you can have 1 million people around you, bro. You're still alone.
Yeah. And
this is what I was saying about Trump earlier.
Exactly.
The thing that I loved about Trump and the reason I celebrated for him was because I know these last years he was alone. Jesus was alone on that cross. Okay. Yeah. Everybody's watching him, bro. He was alone. Yeah. Okay. Like when you're suffering, bro, ain't nobody with you. Not your wife, not your mom, not your dad, not your kids. They can't be.
Yeah.
They don't know what you're feeling. when you're going through hell and you're worried and you want to do the right thing and you don't want to compromise yourself. You need to get the victory for the team, and you're tired and you're worn out and when I was doing Undercover Billionaire, bro, I was alone.
Yeah.
You know, things, when I take on new things, bro, I'm like, am I doing the right thing? Not doing the right thing? Is this the right thing? Should I do this thing? I don't know how to do this. I've never done this before. Everything, my whole life has been this, I don't know what I'm doing. You know?
Yeah.
You know, and so when a guy says, oh, you haven't had experience with this, I haven't had experience with anything.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to write a book. I didn't know how to speak on stage. I didn't know how to do a podcast. I didn't know how to get an Instagram channel. I didn't know how to be a father. I don't know how to be a husband. You know, I don't know how to come to the state of California and get them excited and rally them. I don't know how to do an interview.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do anything, dude. Everything I did, I was a rookie. And then once you break the rookie, you pop your cherry and you're not a rookie anymore, then you realize you really don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And then you're like, do I want to go do this again?
So a big part
And it gets harder
yeah.
as you get stuff
Why?
because you're putting it at risk.
Now you got more to lose.
Now I'm
Yeah.
risking the reputation, the brand,
the family, the money, the business. Yeah.
everything, bro. Like, and then everybody tell you don't have to do this. How many times did Trump say this? I don't have to do this.
Yeah.
I got a good life.
He really didn't. Yeah. He put himself through hell. Yeah.
Torment.
Yeah. And it's not.
And he won.
Yeah. Big time. And we win because of that.
Yeah.
Now, how do you deal with that though when you're in the trenches? Because there's a lot of entrepreneurs listening to this, men and women. And I know we talked about it. Is like, you know, and you might have all this public praise, millions of followers. People are like, "Oh, easy for you. You got a $40
Only
million
the
house
successful
here."
ones will even understand the question you're asking me right now.
Yeah,
It'll be this many people that even understand what you're asking me.
yeah, but you get it. Yeah,
Oh, I 100% get it.
And
only the ones that have been what you like, it takes a lot of insight for you to be even asking this question because,
I appreciate that.
yeah, this is not about cars and stuff. This is about how do you deal with being alone? And no matter how much your partner loves you or how close you guys sleep or spoon or whatever, bro, that whatever's going on with you is yours and only yours. And you can share it with everybody if you want to. It ain't gonna make it any better.
Yeah, they won't get it. Yeah,
It won't matter, bro.
yeah,
It's like sharing a dream. You know, you have a dream. God, you'd never believe this dream I had. And then when you start telling it, you're like, there's no way they're getting this.
they're not feeling it. Yeah,
Well, because you can't even really do it justice.
yeah. How do you navigate that though? Because I think that's what holds a lot of people back. So, like for example, you mentioned something that I've heard a lot of people say about Trump is that he's always asking questions. Even Tony Robbins, we're working on a pod with Tony. Actually, it's funny. I've been trying to get Tony on a podcast forever, and I was in Palm Beach, Florida, at the Palm Beach Grill, and I go in there, and Tony happens to be there. And I'm like, oh shit, this is my moment. I took care of the bill for his family. He called me over, and we ended up talking. He agreed to be on the pod.
Oh, cool, man.
Which
Good.
is another cool story.
Good.
But you know, a lot of
You didn't pay for my bill in Beverly Hills.
I'll do that next time.
Okay,
I
good,
got
good,
you.
good.
I got you. It's a funny story actually. I went into a restaurant. You guys were drinking wine, so I waited till I wanted to be respectful.
Yeah.
Because I went to the restroom and I had seen that you
Where
guys.
was this?
This was in Beverly Hills.
Okay.
I saw on your Instagram story. It was very subtle. It's gonna sound like a stalker, but it was very subtle. But
Yeah.
Elena was saying, "Are we still going to?" I forget the place in Beverly Hills. It's right by the McDonald's in Beverly Hills. It's a weird placement of the McDonald's, but it's a super upscale Beverly Hills spot. And
Next to McDonald's.
yeah, well, it's like
Okay.
down the street
That
from
little
it. but-
Italian joint.
Yes,
It's a little
I
Italian
think
joint.
so.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
like dark, moody,
Yeah,
but not
yeah,
upscale
yeah.
spot.
Mhm.
And long story short is like I went there because I saw she mentioned that you guys were gonna be there. So I was like, "Fuck, this is stupid," but whatever is my dream. I like you talk about a dream.
Yeah.
I go there. I had a 2013 Toyota Corolla. I like parked around the corner. I like,
you hide
and
that.
I gotta hide that. You know, can't make it. I couldn't afford the valet at the time. But then, yeah, I just waited. Like I went to the restroom, kind of like seeing where you guys were at. I wanted to respectfully wait, and then I approached you guys outside. But I figured the longer you guys drink wine, the higher my odds go up.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
But yeah, I mean, I digress bringing that up. But my point is that for you, is it like when you look at a lot of the stuff you've done and a lot of the chances you've taken, a lot of the actions you've taken, a lot of it is you being alone, right? A lot of it is you not knowing. But people tell me, including, like I mentioned, Tony Robbins and Trump, is like they get a lot of feedback. Tony was telling me, him and his team, like even for an Instagram photo, he'll ask him, like, what do you think about this? What do you think about that?
Who asked for the feedback?
Tony. Tony, like a lot of these guys need a lot of more reassurance than people would think. Not out of an insecurity, but just out of getting a pulse on things, right? Like when Trump is asking your thoughts or your opinion, he's not asking because he needs it.
He's never asked me for my opinion.
He's sourcing info. Yeah.
Yeah, he wasn't asking me my opinion. I doubt he asked for very many opinions, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I've heard that Trump is constantly asking for people's thoughts on.
No, he polls people.
Okay,
So
maybe
he'll
that's the
poll
distinction.
people. He'll be like, "Hey, what do you guys think? Which one of these you like better? You like Sleepy Joe or Crooked Joe?" He's a poller.
Got it.
Okay. Now I know a lot of public speakers that have a lot of insecurity about. Did you like tonight? Did you like it? Did you like that? They want feedback from their team. I don't really ask for much feedback from people.
Yeah.
Like posting something, I ask zero. I get zero input because I really don't want to know what they think.
Yeah.
To be honest with you,
Is-
because I know that half of what I do, they would say no to. I mean, I could tell you some stories, dude. Legal issues, recent ones,
Yeah.
where everybody, my lawyer's telling me not to, my accountant's telling me not to, all the professionals tell me not to, and I'm like, oh yeah, I didn't even ask you. I'm doing this. I'm doing something right now. Everybody told me don't do it.
Yeah.
Everyone. I'm talking everyone.
Even Elena?
Everyone said leave this alone. That's why I don't ask them. Because this is not, some of the things I do are not, they're not committee questions.
Where does that confidence come from? Do you feel guided?
Do I feel God? I hate to say that, dude. It sounds so spiritually arrogant, but
Wow.
there's things I have to do because I know they're the right thing to do. I had a guy, you probably saw it was in the papers for, I don't know, 2 years, 3 years we fought this. It was an investor suit, started this class action lawsuit. He put $5,000 into 2 investments. He had bought every product that we have at our company.
Wow.
Every educational product under a different name, and then invested under his real name. It was some weird deals with his names. The guy's passed since, but a lawyer got a hold of him and said, "Hey, I think you can get some money out of this guy." And I'm the wrong guy to try to get money out of. I'm good, dude, if you give me service, but I ain't giving you money because you threatened me. Like the threat just makes me worse. That is my. That's a food for me.
Yeah,
Okay? If you want to get me stronger, just threaten me. Some people are like that. You don't want to, you box them in, dude, they get ugly.
Yeah.
And so I spent $1.3 million defending $10,000.
To prove a point.
100%.
Make an example.
Got it thrown out twice without prejudice in a California court, by the way. Everybody told me just settle it. When it happened, when I found out it happened, I said, has anybody called the guy? And my whole office was like, well, no. The lawyer said, don't talk to him. I said, well, give me his fucking number.
No one, you just called him.
Give me his number. Grant, the lawyer, said, I didn't fucking ask the lawyer anything. I don't even need a lawyer. I'm going to call the guy and talk to him. This is like Trump going to North Korea, right? I mean, a little less.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But anyway, the point was I called the guy on the phone. Nobody called him. I was in another litigation. I was in this litigation thing where I'm like, hey, guys, I'm going to do this myself. And they're like, leave this to the lawyers. No, I'm not going to leave it to the lawyers. These guys get paid $2,000 an hour. They need 2 of them. They flew from New York, and I'm going to go resolve this. I've done that 3 times in legal matters for other people and for myself. But everybody tells you don't do it. And everybody's going to tell you, leave it up to the professionals. Now, some of the time I do not know what I'm doing. Okay, if it's plumbing, oh, I'm fucking up the whole house. We're going to flood the house, bro, because I have no clue.
Yeah.
But where does it come from? I don't know, dude. Common sense. Common sense is a very valuable thing. The contract says you can't do that. I said, yeah, okay, well, whatever. You agreed to da-da-da. Like we did this deal in Houston, Texas 3 years ago, and we were non-refundable on the security, on deposits for $2 million. We found out something after the deposits had become non-refundable.
Oh, I remember this story. Yeah.
And I said, I want to cancel the deal. And they're like, no, you can't cancel it. My lawyer's like, you can't cancel the deal. I said, I can cancel the deal. I can walk away from the $2 million too. Grant, you're going to lose $2 million. I said, no, I'm not. I'm going to cancel the deal first, and then I'm going to get my $2 million back. You have no right to the $2 million. You'll never get the $2 million. No, you won't get the $2 million. I'm going to get the $2 million. And then I'm going to fire your ass when I'm done. And that's what I did. I canceled the contract, got my $2 million back, and then fired that guy.
And you got it back because something was misrepresented?
No, I got it back because common sense.
Where does that come?
Common sense, dude. Common sense. Nobody wants a lawsuit. Nobody wants a problem. Nobody
bigger
wants,
problem. Yeah.
Come on, man. This is why Trump's so good at the tariffs. He's negotiating with people.
Yeah.
With Canada.
Yeah.
You know, he told Canada today, hey, either become the 51st state or you'll never sell another product in our country again.
It's just straight up.
And so he'll end up getting a great deal from Canada. And they should become the 51st state, by the way. It'd be a brilliant thing.
So let me ask you this then, just to touch on it one more time, is how do you navigate when you're alone in those moments and making these decisions against this world and all these ambitions?
You gotta trust yourself, man.
Where does that come from? Does that come from just you?
Comes from showing up every day. Show up every day. Knock on a door. Make the call. Trust yourself. If you say you're going to work out, work out. If you say you're not going to eat sugar, don't eat sugar. If you say you're going to quit drinking alcohol, stop. You have to trust yourself. You don't need to get trust from other people. Okay, I don't need somebody to tell me the picture looks good. The picture looks like the picture looks.
Yeah.
It could look good to you. It could look. What does it matter, dude? Just get the picture out.
Yeah.
So, I trust that I look better today than I will tomorrow. So fucking just post the picture.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And if I check with everybody, it slows everything down. So like in our marriage, man, I make decisions. I don't call my wife and say, what do you think about this? Now I'll get input from her.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm getting ready to make this move, or I'm getting ready to do this. You like these colors? What do you think?
Were you ever like that? Were you ever the type to ask questions and it slowed you down and you realized, okay, fuck that? Or were you always like a...
Well, no, I rolled by myself most of my life. So for the first 51 years, I was, I was just me.
Lone wolf. Yeah.
I was a lone wolf, dude.
And then even past the drug addiction, I know the drug addiction in your early 20s, that was something you got through and kept promises to yourself.
Yeah.
That was a big
helped.
part.
That helped, dude, when you finally quit. I mean, I haven't used drugs in, what is that, 42 years.
Yeah.
So,
That's wild. Now, what about in terms of like when you talk
it builds trust, right?
with yourself?
Yeah. Okay. 100%. When you go out on the road, when I was 29 years old, I'm out on the road, not drinking, not drugging. And I'm out on the road. One year I was out on the road 236 days without going home. And I'm out on the road every day, every single day.
Were you single at that time?
Knocking on doors. Of course I was.
Yeah.
Who would be? Of course, there's only one way to be, right? So I was single till I was like 45 years old.
Yeah.
And I wanted a woman. How can you have a woman? How can you have a family when you're on the road every day?
Yeah. No, I remember saying too that before you got married, you tested all avenues. You got a pulse on what you
not
really
all
want.
avenues, but I definitely, I had definitely
10x'd.
I was 10x, 100%. But I was miserable.
Yeah, unfulfilled.
Miserable, dude. Yeah, you look, a family and kids is like such a creative part for the entrepreneur. I don't mind waiting. I think I'm a great father because I waited. I don't know that I'd have been as good. Maybe who knows? I don't know.
It's awesome to see your daughters, by the way, on camera and the way they've grown up. It's unbelievable.
Fantastic, dude.
How do you feel about that? Because I mean, the role of you and Elena in their life has been amazing. What's it like to see them?
We homeschool our kids, and people could not like me, but man, my kids, man, we did a great job with my kids.
Absolutely
fantastic.
Let me ask you this: what role? I know this has been something a lot of people ask about. You can talk about it if you're comfortable, but Scientology.
Yeah.
What role has that played in your life? Because I know that a lot of people have questions, and there's a lot of people who talk about it. But what role has it had in your life?
It's been fantastic. What a lot of people don't understand is I grew up Catholic. Okay, so I very much believe in God. I pray. Like people are like, oh, I didn't know Scientologists pray. I practiced Scientology for 20 years as a practical way to make me have a better understanding of God. Be a better husband, a better father. They have technology there that can actually, have a person think about how they're going to do things in a correct order rather than just doing things. And so whether you're Jewish or Catholic or Mormon or Muslim, you could still be a Scientologist. You could probably, I guess you could be an agnostic or an atheist and be a Scientologist. I don't know. Every Scientologist I've ever met or known is very much believing in God and has a life based on values, family, and God. And so Scientology just gave me a practical way of being a better Catholic. Like, I believe in Jesus. People are like, I didn't know that. How's that even possible? Because Jesus was a real person.
Yeah.
Okay, they persecuted the dude, put him on a cross. Everybody knows him. Okay, he did great things. He said you are capable of all that he did and more. And so, like, I pray, I forecast the future, I work toward it. I believe faith without works is dead, and I believe that, you know, people that save money don't have a lot of faith. You know, I was telling the guy today, he's like, I said, how much money you got saved? He told me, I said, well, you don't have much faith, dude. He's like, what do you mean? I said, well, you're he's like, I paid my house off. I said, oh, so you're not really a God believer. And he's like, what do you mean? I said, because you paid your mortgage off, bro. You think the future is going to come to an end for you. I think the creativeness is going to keep coming. You know, that I'll always have some inspiration. Where does the inspiration come from? You keep asking me, where does it come from? It comes from God. Why would I keep doing this hustle?
Yeah.
You know, why would I not be satisfied?
Yeah. Why
do you keep doing podcasts?
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, why? You've done enough of
I'm
them.
just energized.
How many have you done?
Oh, so many.
Yeah.
I'm energized by it.
Why does it energize you?
I just love to do it. It's hard to explain. It's
Exactly.
I see it, and I got to. I mean, even to the tune of, like, we just flew to Romania and interviewed Andrew Tate.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
fantastic.
I was even thinking about, just, dude, why not? Who says I can't go overseas to Ukraine or Russia, or, you know what I mean? Do something, you know?
Sure you can, dude.
So for me, I just.
But why? Why? I mean, why are you inspired to do all that?
Because it's more exciting than doing nothing.
Yeah. You see, I think that's God.
God's work.
Well, I think you're like you're curious, you know, and so that's what, you know, Scientology is for people that are curious. If you're curious about why are you believe in God but you don't have any money, you have to be asking, what is the disconnect between the spiritual and the material? Why would somebody believe in God and be unhealthy? Why would a person that really had true balance and understanding of God not have everything? A great marriage, great kids, healthy, physically healthy, wealthy, prosperous, energy, sense of service and community. You know, that's why I don't play golf every day, dude, because I'm curious about what else can I do to extend myself? Who's the next version of me?
Yeah.
Like, I went from freaking poor kid in Lake Charles, Louisiana, car salesman, consulting auto dealers and manufacturers, shedding that skin and becoming a public speaker, consulting companies across the board, from Fortune 500 companies to doing these massive events, to speaking at a MSG conference or Madison Square Garden for Donald Trump. And, you know, I just want to continue to do that.
Yeah.
And discover. And that's how it's helped me. It gives me more confidence and certainty, and answers questions about that I think all of us have about life. Like,
how'd you discover it? Like, how did you walk into Scientology?
I was 25 years old and was given the book Dianetics. I read that book. I really loved that book.
L. Ron Hubbard.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm. About the reactive mind, about why do you have these bizarre sabotaging, which most people have experienced, sabotaging yourself in your actions, your thoughts, the friends you pick, the actions you take, doing something or not doing something, or reacting to situations, or becoming a drug addict or an alcoholic. Why? Why were you the one in your family that ended up with this problem? And that book is about that. It gave me a lot of answers of why I was a good kid growing up in a good family where God and values were the core, and then I went and did all this dumb shit. Nobody made me do it.
Yeah.
I reacted to conditions, to a bunch of losses I had. And so that book helped me, and that's how I was introduced to it.
And the hunger comes from a combination for you at this stage. Obviously, it evolves at different levels. I know you talked about early on, not having a father, male role model present. Like there was a fire in there, a hunger in there, and then it evolved. But for you now, we talked about it a little bit earlier, like money's not really the motivator. I mean, obviously, it's a byproduct of it to create financial freedom for yourself and others. But the hunger or the fire now, like I can't imagine Grant Cardone retired living in a Palm Beach country club and just away from it all. Like, where does that insatiableness come from? Like, what's the fire? How does the fire stay lit like that?
It's better than going out. I mean, it's curious. I'm curious, man. I don't want to go sit in Palm Beach. and I don't want to keep doing big events over and over for another 10 or 15 years.
Yeah.
I already know what's going to happen.
It's funny too because
I want to do something different.
Yeah, play a new game, bigger games.
Yeah, like how many
I remember
bigger games, dude.
I remember one time, I'll never forget this. We were talking about imperfect action. This was years ago when we were in the Hollywood Hills, I believe. It was when I did the interview with you and Ed Milet, and we were hanging out with the kids, family. There were some investors there. Everyone was hanging out. I had to piss 2 hours in. You guys were busting my balls laughing.
Yeah.
But I'll never forget it. We were sitting down smoking cigars, and someone was asking you, maybe Ed, or I forget who it was. Someone asked you, they go, where are you guys doing the event this year? And I think it was the Florida Marlins Stadium or something like that. Yeah. And they were like, oh, how many tickets have you sold? And it wasn't that many compared to the thing.
Yep.
And they were asking, what's your plan to sell it out? And you're like, I have no fucking clue. Like we're just gonna.
We had 34,000 seats. We had to sell 38,000 tickets to fill up 34,000 seats.
And you're not scared shitless when you're
no,
committing?
I'm scared, dude. 100% I'm scared.
But
scared all the time.
Fuck it, just roll the dice.
I mean, not quite like that, but you got to have some kind of plan or strategy, and you better believe in yourself, and you have to believe in yourself more than one day. Like, back to the Scientology thing. Scientology got rid of a whole bunch of doubt for me.
Like the beliefs?
Doubt.
Could you shed light on that or zoom in on that?
Doubt. Like, you go to church for an hour. I pray to God. I believe that. I believe, I'm praying, bro. I'm like, okay, I'm getting all the scripture. I'm getting the words. And then 3 hours later, man, I'm in doubt. Why? I mean, did the God thing not work? The sermon didn't work. I didn't practice it. What happened? I mean, 1 hour in church it's hard to compete with 163 hours, which will be the rest of the week.
Right.
Of uncertainty, bad news, criticism, failures, disappointments, discouragements, losses, bad news. Like, just keep going through it, dude, because it could come at you in 7 days. You could get, my mom used to say, when it rains, it
pours.
Exactly. So you're getting just hammered. Man, I need to go back to church. Well, maybe you do, but what are you going to do? You can't stay in the pew.
Yeah.
You can't stay in the pew and just pray. At some point, I got to get out into the world, and I have to do something. This is that faith without works, faith without action, faith without doingness. And so the doingness builds the confidence. And so if I can get rid of, if a person could shed their losses, permanently shed losses, and not be carrying around, who knows how many losses a human being has in a year. You fall down on your bike, you had a loss. Your girlfriend rejects you, you had a loss.
Loved one passes away, whatever it is.
Yeah, my dad died. My brother died. Friend dies.
How old were you?
Girlfriend,
when your dad died, how old were you?
I was 10. Yeah, lost my older brother when I was 20. Lost 3 of my friends before I was 25. Overdosed 3 times. Nobody knows that today. They just see me. Oh, look, Grant Cardone,
Yeah, he's got the money.
That was easy, bro. That happened overnight. Come on, man. Nothing happens for anybody overnight. Getting it's one thing. Getting it's pretty easy, actually. Keeping it, shit. Because, man, it's hard to keep it.
Yeah.
And then multiplying it, That's why when you cut me back and you're like, you got $1 billion worth of real estate. I'm like, bro, it's 5. Okay. Like when people tell me, like we had this argument, this guy was saying I didn't have $1 billion, had put $1 billion net worth together, and it became this big thing, and he's making this big deal. I wasn't making a big deal about it. I know what it is. I see it. I'm the only one that actually knows what it is. And people are like, well, why would you defend it? I'm like, bro, how do you keep what you won't defend? And if you can't keep it, how you multiply it? You can't. So that's why you have to defend yourself. And the best way to defend yourself is to attack. So that's why I'll take on a fight. Like, I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
But it is the best way to defend myself.
Yeah.
If I'm doing the right things.
Yeah.
So
Play
that's
offense.
that comment you made about the earlier guy.
Yeah.
You briefly made it.
Yeah.
And I was just like, well, yeah, I mean, you know, whatever, you got to defend yourself, and you defend yourself by attacking.
Yeah. Play offense. Yeah.
Yeah, but you can't do that, dude. If you have all these memories and losses and disappointments and discouragements and memories of losses and discouragements and failures, and I didn't get up and I didn't do it, and I said I was, but I didn't, and you just have tens of thousands of these memories. I was supposed to knock on another door. I said I was, and I didn't. I told my mom I was going to go there, and I didn't. I said I was going to stop smoking, and I didn't. And I was going to go to the gym, but I didn't. I said I was going to stop sugar, and I didn't. Like, if you can't get rid of all that, bro, like, you're stuck with it.
Yeah.
And I remember a guy named Cowboy. I was in the car business, and I was probably 26 years old, and he used to say, he had this great saying. He was from Louisiana. He says, you know, Grant, wherever you go, there you are. And I'm like, that's exactly right, dog. You gotta handle you. And so when I see people criticize other people, I'm like, what are you doing, man? Handle you. Like, I don't spend a lot of time on other people.
Yeah.
If I'm going at somebody, it's because they started something with me.
Yeah.
Because I'm working on me, trying to make me a little bit better version of myself.
Yeah.
And most of the time I'm in waters that I don't know how I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, yeah. And you've been pushing through no matter what. Now, let me ask you this real quick before I wrap up here in a couple minutes is, you know, a lot of people look up to you, and there's a lot of people in this day and age more than ever, especially, you know, people say it's going to be the golden age with Trump coming into office. There's going to be a lot of financial opportunity. What advice do you have for people in terms of the right things to focus on? I know you've been asked this a million times, but in present day, 2025 and beyond, what advice does Grant Cardone have to people to really get ahead financially and in their personal economy and take advantage of the new market?
You know, if I was a kid today, man, I would get politically involved. If I was coming up again today, you know, if I was 25, 18, what nationality are you?
I'm half Hispanic and half Middle
you
Eastern.
should absolutely get involved in the Republican Party. You'd have a place. Yeah. You would go straight up and vertical there.
Yeah, I actually just connected with some of the young Republicans in Florida. I was actually at Trump International, so working on it.
All the young people out there, man, women should get involved in politics. The space for you is enormous, okay? This space is going to get bigger and bigger, too, by the way. AI will not replace politicians, okay? Politics, you know, if I'm black, I'm brown, I'm going to the Republican Party. I'm going there because they want. Diversity. And they'll listen and they'll embrace you. Now, you're going to have to drop all your weird ideas. I mean, if you got weird ideas, bro, you got these weird agendas that's not going to be welcome. You need to think about mass numbers of people. You want to make a difference. You want to get in power. You want to start making the laws and really helping your community. Get involved with the Republican Party. That's one thing I would tell people. And number two, like I don't want to get in politics. You're going to be involved in politics in your lifetime. If you want to be a property owner or a business owner, you have to get involved in politics, because right now we're at a weird place where this country could become either it's going to become something great. It's not going to be easy with Trump, bro. They're going to come after him. Okay, they're not giving up $500 trillion without just rolling over. So this will get nasty before it gets better. So we may go into the golden age, and I hope we do, but it's not going to be just like straight up.
Smooth sailing, yeah.
No, it's going to be nasty. It's going to be ugly, and they're not going to give up control. And there is an order of people out there that do want control of this planet. And that's not a conspiracy, that's a fact.
Yeah.
And we saw that 4 years ago when they were willing to make the entire planet sick for their own agendas.
Yeah.
And they made the entire planet sick. People died. People forget that shit, bro. They're burning. They're letting the state of California burn to the ground right now. There's 3 fires going that they can't put out.
Yeah. 50,000 acres.
Everybody's
already.
like, oh, it's a fire and it's the wind and nobody can handle it. It's global warming. That's bullshit. Okay. They cut back the firemen. They cut back the budget. We have water. We have plenty of water. We have unbelievable amount of resources. That's called the Pacific Ocean out that window right there. You could provide water for every house, desalinate and provide it to every house in California. But they don't have the priority to do that. There's plenty of money, dude. It's called a printing press. Click. Quit taxing the people and print money. That's a solution. Nobody pays any taxes, and every time we need money, we just print it. Right now, we do both. They print and tax. There's no reason to do both of them. But if you guys agree with all that, okay, we should have Bitcoin on our reserve. There's no reason not to have it. It'd be great for us.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's a lot of things that we can be doing right now, but young people should get involved. I mean, I would look at a career in politics today before I'd look at a career in sales.
Now, hypothetically,
And you better learn how to sell if you're going to be a politician.
that's true. Well, a lot of people might hear that and go, well, politicians don't make money early on, you know?
Maybe not. You're probably not making money early on either. I didn't. I didn't make money early on. I didn't make money. I made more money working for somebody else between 26 and 29 than I did for myself between 30 and 33. So I went backwards. So look, most people are not going to make money out the gate. Now, if you want to go make a bunch of money, go to Wall Street, be a prostitute, and I mean not that kind of prostitute. Just go get an education for 4 years. That's prostitution, by the way. It's stupid. It's ridiculous. So go from your 12th grade, spend another 4 years of your life selling yourself out to some college to get a degree so you can go tell people you work for Goldman Sachs. And you're going to prostitute yourself selling a bunch of garbage products that you don't even believe in. Or you could become an insurance salesman or whatever. Like, do whatever you want to do. But like, I would tell people like, man, you could help yourself by getting involved in politics. You definitely need to learn e-commerce. It's not going away. AI, you can embrace it and start playing with it. It's not going away. There's going to be unbelievable opportunities there. It's going to be an entire industry built around Bitcoin. There's going to be all new products coming out.
And invest in Cardone Capital.
Yeah, you could, or you could start a Cardone Capital, But by the time you get to what I'm doing at Cardone Capital, I will have already done another thing that we're going to do.
So hypothetically speaking, if you were to one day hypothetically be in public office in California, what would be the first 5 things on the agenda?
Well, what this state needs to do right now, they got to get their priorities. They have to get a priority agenda correct, a mandate. This is what we're handling first, okay? And I mean, obviously the fires here, they need to handle the cleanup first. Number one, biggest, most important thing needs to be the cleanup. Should be done in 18 months or less, not a day over. It cannot be a day over. It could be done in 12 months if you wanted it to, by the way. I know everybody's like, that's impossible. No, it's not. Okay? You basically just say, we're going to clean the entire city. The Palisades is going to be rebuilt, and all of Malibu is going to be rebuilt. Coastal Commission, no regulations, no environment, no bullshit. We're going to kill a bunch of deer. We're going to kill a bunch of fucking rodents.
Fishes.
We're going to lose some fishes. Fuck it. We're going to rebuild, okay? We're going to put people over fucking animals.
Yeah.
Second thing they got to do is they got to fix this fire problem. They need to irrigate the entire state so it doesn't go in flames again. And then they got to get their priorities. They should reduce the taxes in the state. Okay, less taxes mean they have less money to waste. And when you give them more taxes, they waste money. Give them less taxes, they'll be more prudent. They'll operate within a budget, and then they invite people back in from other states. The other thing I would do is offer a legal immigration, a fast track back into California. Bring $5 million with you, you get immediate residence. $5 million, you can't have any criminal record, can't be attached to any kind of child, anything, nothing. You got to be clean. You deposit a $5 million into a bank in California. If we find out anything in your criminal background, you waive the $5 million. So you better be clean or don't make the deposit. We'll keep it. We'll never send it back to you. And then we'll fast track you. If you commit one crime, pass one speeding ticket, do anything wrong while you're here, bang, we're keeping you $5 million and we're sending you back. 5 million, let 1 million people into this state. We can have more people here, okay? Put them in Bakersfield, man. Put them in San Diego, but bring people into the country that have money, bro. When you let homeless people into the country and you already have a shortage of homes, okay? Let me just do the math for the politician. You let people without a home, they don't have a home and they don't have a job, into a state where you have a shortage of home and a shortage of jobs. You end up with people that don't have homes and jobs. So, and then there are people going to be like, oh yeah, but who's going to pick the strawberries? Technology is going to pick the strawberries in the next 3 to 5 years.
Yeah.
So people will still do those jobs. We can still get all that done. But the people of California have to get, there's a solution. And the solution is not more of the same. The solution needs to be new ideas employed by business people that are practical and know how to get their priorities in shape and are willing to tell the people the truth.
I love it.
But hey, who knows if that happens? First thing that has to happen is the people. So you got to help me get the people riled up.
Yeah. And where can people find more if they want to learn more about this?
Go to 10xcalifornia.com. We're going to be in Irvine. When are you going to drop this?
ASAP. We'll drop in the next couple days.
We're going to be in Irvine in Saturday at 2:00, and then we're going to go to Carlsbad. You think I really need to do this?
Nope.
Irvine, then I drive to Carlsbad,
All up
and
the
somebody's
coast.
going to tell me like, hey, why don't you stay in San Diego and do another deal? And then the next day they're going to say, you know what's going to happen?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, come to our city, man. I know hundreds of people are going to show up because I'm coming in. I'm going to come in, I'm going to sign autographs and do all the things and take pictures. I just want people to come there. Then what people need to do once they're there, you need to register as a Republican and send a message to Sacramento. You don't even need to want to be a Republican. It doesn't even matter. Register as a Republican and don't send Newsom. Newsom's got 18 months. He'll buy 18 months with his fees. They'll basically, every time you try to recall this guy, the game is this. They just basically start raising more money to defend the recall. Okay? So what would happen, you just got to be really clever now. Okay? You got to be clever, more clever than the politicians.
Yeah, and good timing, yeah.
And you got to have the right timing. Okay? The fires have created a new awareness. So what I'm going to do, hopefully I can get millions of people come to these rallies and we're going to be like, register as a Republican. But I'm not a Republican. It don't matter, bro. You ain't a Democrat either. You're a fucking communist. Okay? And you're not an independent. You just don't count. Like, what does it matter? Send a message that there's a new wave happening. Because Donald Trump is not a Republican. Donald Trump is MAGA. Okay? It's a different thing, bro. I'm telling you, I've been with these people. This MAGA thing is real. And it's bigger now. It's bigger than it was 4 years ago. And it's going to keep getting bigger. And if they kill Trump, and they probably will try, okay, it's going to get bigger again. California could go MAGA. Most of California is already MAGA. We just need San Francisco, Los Angeles, and San Diego to flip.
Yeah, leadership.
And
yeah.
it doesn't mean you need to be a Republican because nobody even knows what that means anymore.
Right.
Okay, I was a Democrat 35 years of my life. Then I went Republican, not because I don't like wars. I don't want to be in wars. Trump's not going to do any wars. And so they would come, they would register as a Republican, and we'll start showing people registrations, 1,000, 10,000, 50,000, 80,000, 250,000. You know what Donald Trump? Donald Trump sees 250,000 blues registers red. Bro, he'll be here every day. What do you think Elon's going to do? He's got a chip on his shoulder. They kicked his ass out of here. He'll come in here. He'll do here what he did in Pennsylvania. So you guys want Trump coming back here? Y'all want him to do rallies for the next 18 months? You want Elon Musk to come here and do rallies? You want Grant Cardone to be doing rallies and parades? Let's go have a freaking MAGA parade in Hollywood.
Yeah. That'd be something.
Dude, it'd be great. Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
You know, let's go to Compton, Inglewood.
You would do it. You're one of the few crazy people that would do
Bro,
it, man.
I would do it.
I love
bro.
it.
You know, I would do it because I'm committed. I'm committed to change.
Yeah.
And this state, you know, if this was, I don't know, I don't want to offend any other states, but California's the 5th largest economy in the world. This is a beast, man. And if it doesn't do well, the rest of the country stays sick. So this is the most patriotic thing I could possibly do. is to try to energize and activate the state. So I need your help.
I love it, my man. And you guys can check it out at 10xcalifornia.com.
That's right.
I got one last question before we play a quick game and wrap it up.
Okay.
Is when Grant Cardone is nothing, dead, gone, and nothing but a pile of dust,
Yeah.
what do you hope the Grant Cardone and 10x legacy was all about?
Well, I mean, I think it's going to be different for everybody. You'll have your memories, you know. You'll tell your jokes, probably add a few lies in there. You know, oh yeah, I knew blah blah. You know, but
He was a good buddy of mine.
Yeah, well, I consider you a buddy, and dude, I think people just need to say whatever they're going to say, and hopefully people, you know, the people that know me, they're going to be like, that guy loved to prank. Like I love pranking people.
Is a big part of like your success keeping it fun? Because I've met a lot of high net worth individuals over the years. I'm sure you've met a ton, and a lot of them are kind of big kids. I'm sure you've noticed that. For you, is that part of the? This is kind of a personal curiosity. Is that part of the stress relief a little bit, like cracking jokes and keeping the edge off?
Well, the edge is on all the time, bro.
Exactly.
So a handful of these guys that I've met, they go from extreme intensity. There'll be very intense, volatile moments to like, let's go fuck off. You know,
Yeah.
And then the problem is everybody in the room's still stuck in this intensity. And this other dude's like, what are you guys all hung up about, bro? It's over. So it's a weird kind of dichotomy because I get over stuff really fast. Like my wife holds on.
Yeah.
She's like, I said, I'm going to go do a deal with so-and-so. I hate him. I'm like, bro, that's over. That's over. We're good now. Okay. Yeah. She's like, no. And I'm like, bro, it's good. You know, I mean, Trump's very similar to that, right? What does he do? He gets in there and then he calls ABC and says, come out and do an interview.
Yeah, I know. And sometimes I see even like how he was talking about Marco Rubio or talking about all these guys in the past. And now they're like championing him. Now they're good buddies. Now he put him in positions.
Me and my buddy Lesher, John Lesher.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect example.
CEO of T-Mobile, former CEO, yeah.
You know, we had this little beef and everything, you know, and then I'm taking pictures with him saying, hey, my buddy John, you know, like I just get over stuff really fast because I don't know that I'm getting over it. It doesn't stick to me. And because I'm interested in the future, you know, hey, can I do something with him?
Yeah.
I want to be friends with people, dude.
Yeah, so
some people you can't be friends with because they're not friends with themselves.
Yeah.
And then that's the other thing. You got to understand some people just don't like themselves. And so trying to be friends with somebody that doesn't like themselves, how can they like me when they don't like them?
Yeah. You cannot transfer that which you're not experiencing.
And if you're not creating, you're probably not going to be comfortable around somebody that is creating. You want to slow them down and say, bro, why can't you just be, you know, like I had a family member once say, you know, you've changed. I'm like, yeah. That was kind of the point. I remember when I was 15, you're saying, you need to change. And now that I have, you're complaining about it. Like you wanted me to change. Yeah. You prayed for me to change. I changed. And now you're like, I didn't want you to change that much.
Yeah. All right. Well, I appreciate you sharing that, man. I want to ask, too, before we wrap up, we're going to do a quick game called First Things First.
Okay.
The way the game works, it's kind of like a word relation game.
Uh-oh.
So I'm just going to say a quick word or phrase, and then you just tell me the first word or phrase.
This is some kind of psychological.
It is. It may be. But basically, yeah, the way the game works is I'm going to rifle off a quick word or phrase, and then you just tell me the first word or phrase that comes to mind.
Let me work this out. Okay.
All right. The only
this
rule.
This feels like the way it started. You said you were going to come out the box hot, and now you're going to close with something hot.
Yep.
Okay.
The only rule is that you can't repeat yourself twice.
Okay, I like that rule.
So just the first phrase or idea comes to mind.
Hold
Sentence.
on. Okay.
Ooh.
I'm getting centered.
The Trump administration 4 years from today.
Done. I mean, it'll be over, right?
Best case.
Maybe not. Maybe he extends.
Yeah, I know he'll figure something out. Yeah, I was thinking about that. He probably puts Elon or his son or like.
No. I think JD's a good choice.
Yeah, JD Vance. Yeah. Classy guy. Him and his wife too. Very classy people. Second word, financial freedom.
Right there. One word.
FU money.
I mean, just like, hey, fuck off. Leave me alone. You don't want to do it. Like that's the beauty of money. Like, oh, okay. So like I have a situation right now. I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna pay it off. I don't want to do that. We just bought 6 deals We paid all cash because the debt market's sterile. So I'm like, I'm not taking your money. You're not doing me a favor. You're fucking me. So rather than you doing that, I'm just going to write a check for all of it, and it goes away. I like that.
Yeah.
Then I don't feel like a victim.
Yeah, it gives you autonomy.
Yeah.
Yeah. The best hiring and firing advice you'd give people.
The best, hire more often and fire more often.
Like faster?
Yeah, hire slow and fire fast. Don't let people quit. Fire them first.
How you
If people are leaving your company, you know, you that's a problem because you should have fired them. They shouldn't have left you.
Yeah, because the attitude element.
Well,
of
they
it,
quit,
yeah.
dude. They didn't leave. They left 3 months after they quit.
Right.
They quit in October and they left in January. You should have fired them in November because there's no way their stats went down when they decided to quit. They don't have the courage to quit, leave when they quit. They quit in October, but they don't leave till January. Most people don't have the courage to just walk out.
I actually heard a quote. I think it was by John Maxwell. He talks about that the best time to fire someone is the first time you think about firing them.
Yeah.
Every time after that is you wasted that time
Right,
as the
right.
leader. Yeah.
I like that.
Because eventually you end up doing it.
Yeah.
But people get hung up on feeling bad or whatever. Next one is the best marriage advice you give people based on your experience with Elena.
Dude, one marriage is cheaper than two. I was just saying, like, it's just simple math.
Yeah. What about?
And I would just tell the ladies out there, you can marry more money in one day than you can make in a lifetime. Not a bad deal. Might consider it.
How you deal with?
And I don't mind that, by the way. I think that's you know, find a man with a lot of money. You guys out there, you could find a woman with a lot of money. There's no, you know, but you still got to deliver.
Yeah, take care of one another. Yeah.
You're going to have to deliver on something. But it's not I don't know why you'd find somebody to love that's broke. God damn. It's going to be work either way.
Yeah.
So find somebody that's rich to love. Make sense to you guys?
How you deal with, and we touched on it earlier in the interview a bunch, but how you deal with late nights alone and insecurities alone.
Late nights alone. I don't do the late nights.
But I mean, when you're in your thoughts in your head, you know, your wife, your team, they might not fully understand.
I go
the
into
core.
action, bro. I go into action. I do something.
Imperfect action.
Oh, always imperfect. I do nothing perfect. Not even close. I don't even think it is.
Biggest insecurity that you have that most people would be surprised by.
Biggest insecurity. Oh my God, dude. There's so many of them. Like, is it going to work? Can we do this? You know, are we going to ever make it? I mean, you know, so that's endless. It's always there. I don't even think it's ever going to go away now. I'm now at a place in my life where I'm like, okay, that's just going to be here forever.
Yeah. The role God plays in your life.
I mean, dude, it's, you know, I cannot imagine walking around this planet thinking I'm just a man and that there's not a God and that there's not something more and that there's not something guiding. And I mean, we're on a rock, bro, rotating through the universe and flying at some unbelievable speed. And most days, nothing bad happens. The fact that 14,000 homes were burned and only, you know what? How many people?
28 confirmed deaths.
It's unbelievable, dude. That's unbelievable. You know, the fact that there's millions of cars going up and down the 405 every day and more people aren't killing themselves or shooting each other or whatever they could be doing. So for all the bad things that happen every day, man, there's a lot of bad things that don't happen. So I can't imagine a life without believing in God.
Best business advice you've ever been given.
The best business advice I've ever been given?
Hire Jared.
Shout out Jared Glant.
The best business advice I've ever been given. Man, what would it be, Jared? I don't even know what that is. I haven't been given a lot of business advice, dude. Most of the advice I've been given in business has been bad. Don't do it. Don't go into that business. Don't. Yeah, that was a great piece. I was with Kevin Turner, and I was telling him about this thing that I have. Like, it wasn't a piece of advice, but it was an acknowledgement, a validation. I said, bro, I got this thing. He's hung around all these heavyweights. And I said, I got this thing, bro. I'm never satisfied. He's like, oh yeah, that's dude. All you guys have that. I said, well, what's that? He's like, divine discontentment. I said, God damn, that's what it is, bro. That's exactly what it is. It's not that I'm not satisfied. It's that I am divinely discontent. God has this thorn in me that says, bro, I just put that in you so you never get comfortable. Because anytime I'm comfortable, bro, they can tell you, all my team will tell you, man, bro, my wife, the last thing she wants is me being comfortable. Because she's like, he gets nasty when he's comfortable.
Your North Star.
My North Star, man, I have this, nobody's ever asked me that, but I have embedded in me the unique, some kind of, I don't know, it would be called a gyroscope or some kind of like, I do the right thing. I know I have this mechanism. It's not an intuition. It is a natural
Compass, like an internal compass?
It's an internal compass. It's not a compass quite, but it's some kind of mechanism that always puts, it actually operates for my best good and never hurts anybody else in the process.
Is that part of what you mentioned earlier about feeling guided? Like you feel like
I do, dude. I do things. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go interrupt this mediation right now. Completely break total protocol. Nobody would ever do this. I am the only one that knows this. I'm telling my team I'm gonna do it. They're like, bro, do not do this, what you're about to do. I'm like, bro, I'm telling you, this is gonna be fine. Just trust me. I got a lawyer over here. I got a mediator over here. I got all this activity going on. No. And I'm like, yes. And, you know, it looks like it's going to step on everybody. It looks like there's going to be this big mess and everybody's going to be upset, but nobody actually gets hurt. Like, no matter what people say about me, and I hear it, right?
Yeah.
So
you get a lot of it.
Dude,
yeah.
I get my fair share, right?
I know. I love that quote where you said, they love me Monday, they hate me Tuesday, but I get paid every day. Something like that.
I don't know if that was me or not, but, but you know, what was I saying? I was saying about
feeling guided. Feeling
I know
guided.
I'm doing the right thing.
Yeah.
I know who I am. Like your opinion, if it's negative toward me, is no different than a guy over here that's positive toward me. And here's the problem that a lot of people have. They want this so much, but they don't want that. They want the love, but they don't want the criticism. Bro, if you're affected by the love, you're affected by the criticism. I'm not affected by either one of them. So Jared can tell me how I'm great. It's not going to change. I'm still going to drive bad. I drive the way I want to drive. I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm going to get to where I'm going as fast as possible, and nobody's going to get hurt.
Did you ever?
Even when it looks like people are going to get hurt.
Yeah. Did you ever along the path?
Why does Jared get to do all these laughs in the background? We got to pick that up. Y'all got to kind of work that in. Funny face.
Did you along the way, just on that, just zoom in real quick, did you on that note, as you know, throughout the years you've grown tremendously and people look up to you and, you know, people love you, like literally worship, love so much about what you teach. But was there part of you ever where you had to check in with yourself ego-wise or like you lost yourself a little bit in that? Really?
No, that's never ever, I don't think I've ever had that problem.
Really?
Where like, oh, I'm sucked into this. I'm so great.
Yeah. The business is humbling.
I know I have a lot of character defects, but that's not one of them. It doesn't, because what did I tell you earlier? Most of the time I'm just disappointed with me. I am definitely not oversold on Grant Cardone.
Your toughest day in business in the last 5 years?
Toughest day in business. Man, I've had a lot of them lately, bro, man. It's the things that don't get resolved quick enough. You know, they just keep nagging out. So it's like, I'd rather just shoot something in the head and be done with it. I mean, I'd be like, let's go make a mistake right now. Rather than we got to add another complexity, figure out something else. And it's like, I would rather just put it down.
Your superpower.
My superpower.
What's Grant Cardone's superpower?
Well, I think we all have them. I think most people don't know they have superpowers. But I have a number of superpowers. One is I see things. I think I see things people don't see.
How?
I know, like in marketing, I see a lot of things people don't see.
Like what?
Just details, dude. Oh, that's never going to work. Or and Jared will be like, dude, that thing's working great. I said, yeah, but it might be working, but it's not good for us. Or, I just see things.
Is that intuitive or is that experience?
I don't know. I hate Jared being here because then I want to lean on him. Like, what is it? What is it? Like, there is an intuitive superpower I have. There's a courageous superpower I have.
You have the ability to look at something as if you've never seen it.
As though I've never seen it. Even though I'm the one that came up with the idea and I said, I want to do this, but I see it. And
from the market's perspective,
I see it from your viewpoint.
Got it.
Not mine. I know what I wanted it to do. And I know what I wanted it to say. But then I can look at it from a third party and say, oh, it won't say that to him. Courage, man. I have a tremendous amount of courage. I don't know where it comes from or how I get it, but it comes in tremendous supply. The third thing is I recover. Here's a major superpower I have. I've never talked about these things, by the way. I've never been asked this, but I know how to convert losses. I convert losses into assets. If you've ever heard me say assets are liabilities and liabilities become assets, but I am able to convert losses. It used to take me a long time to convert a loss. I've always been able to do it, but it would take me sometimes months, sometimes a whole season.
And it's just building the creative muscle to like, how can we use this? How can we?
Not really. There's not even a process anymore. It's like I'm eating some kind of fuel now. Now I've had a lot, by the way. Like I've had a lot of people try to serve up losses. I mentioned this, I think earlier, was if you put me in a corner, bro, like and there's an old saying about don't corner, a hurt dog, because he'll bite. He doesn't want to bite. But sometimes when I have a loss, dude, I actually become more creative. The criticism, I convert criticism
to fire, motivation.
The haters, bro, the haters like have made me so much money and so much success. I would not be who I am today. All of you guys, I bless you guys, wishing you a great place in heaven. I hope I see you there. You're going to make heaven even better for me. But because you have done so much for me to create the next version of myself and keep filling up fuel in the tank. It's been unbelievable.
I love it. And then the last one, this is for viewers, men and women, whether they're in California or anywhere around the world, around the country, who want to take their life to the next level, who want to get unstuck. So much of your life is helping people get out of the lids of their life. What's Grant Cardone's best advice for people to get unstuck and take control of their fucking life?
Do 10X. Do the 10X thing, man. If you guys, a lot of people don't understand 10X. They know it. They heard about it. They see it on the hats or 10X. 10X is not about 10X tide. It's not about stronger. 10X is a multiplier. It's like
an identity shift.
It's okay. If I have, it forces you. You're not setting goals in increments anymore. You're leaping. Elon's a 10Xer. Okay. He's not talking about going to the moon, bro. He's talking about putting a flag on Mars. Trump's a 10Xer. See, Trump would buy the Palisades solution. Hey, we're going to clean up the whole place. I would tell him 18 months, and Trump would be like, let's do it in a 1.8 months. That's 10X, right? So 10X is either bigger or faster. And I would just tell people, like, if you're having trouble making 60 grand a year, set your target for 600 grand a year.
They won't believe it.
Well, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. You won't believe it. You're not going to make 60 either. You're going to come up short on both of them. The problem is you're going to get to 60 or 55 or 54, and you're going to find out you can't live. You're going to set the 600, and you're going to have to quit your current situation. You're going to probably have to move to some other part of the country. You're going to have to learn some other skill set. And you're going to start making 50 grand a month one day. 10X is real, man.
Well, Grant, thank you so much, brother.
Thank you.
I appreciate us doing this. I know this is another one in the books. And for guys or gals out
every
there.
Every 2 or 3 years we do this, right?
Yep. We're going to run it back. So make sure to check out 10xcalifornia.com. Follow Grant Cardone if you don't already. And let's clean up this country.
Let's do it.
God bless you guys. Thank you so much, Grant. Appreciate you, brother.